Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
At West Virginia once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. 2009, he paid a $100 fine and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines. So
the University of Alabama has described Miller as a cooperating witness. How is this factoring, if at all, into how teams are evaluating him?
Yeah, Malika. I don't think it would be brought up at all if it wasn't for Malika just bringing it up on national television right now.
And so here we go again, back with another one. Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. And this is the subject that I touched on a few days ago as it pertains to Oklahoma City player Josh Giddey and some of the allegations in which a lot of people are saying you really can't even call them allegations at this point. It is what it looks like, according to some of the stuff and some of the videos and some of the pictures that we see online. There's no excuse for it. Because as we all know, any other player under these conditions, that would be it. That would be a wrap. That would be all they need. All the evidence that they need. There would be no investigation. There would be no, we're looking into this. The attack dogs would be out and they would be biting. And so Malika Andrews and ESPN, they've had plenty of time to go ahead and weigh in on this topic. And like I said, I dropped a video on it 2 days ago in which I told y'all weren't going to hear anything out of Malika Andrews' mouth. It was going to be crickets from her and ESPN. And the only thing somewhat significant that we got so far is that the NBA is launching an investigation. But the fact that Mr. Giddy Kitty is still out here practicing and playing games lets you know everything you need to know about the situation. This is what it looks like in 2023. And y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. And people within the community, when we talk about systematic issues and problems going on within the community, and the fact that certain people and certain individuals are held to higher standards. And at the same time, certain individuals are made out to be the #1 predator in America based on systematic issues. This is why we say that. Because like I said in my previous videos, had this been LaMelo Ball, had this been an Anthony Edwards, and it would be major news, it would be major headlines everywhere. And the police, I'm sure, would have been involved already. And so the very least of their concerns would have been sitting out basketball games and missing paychecks. And we all know that sports is a microcosm of how society really works. And it's not the end all be all, but it's a pretty good indicator. And so this is how it works. And a lot of people are starting to wake up to that fact. And people, any group of people, I don't care what people, are only as good as the images that they're shown.
Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
And so the doll experiment. I love the doll experiment for a couple of reasons. Children don't lie unless they do. If y'all have children, y'all know what I'm talking about. Children have the propensity to be brutally honest at times. If you want to check the temperature of what's going on within society, check the children. And so if the Sukihanas and the Sexy Reds and whatever degenerate so-called black male that they can find are chosen to be the representatives of so-called black people, then you can only imagine what children must think about themselves. What so-called black children must think about themselves in comparison to white children, when you have the Taylor Swifts and the people of that nature being the representative of so-called white people. And so I know that there's a such thing as personal responsibility. But when you don't control anything or any facet within the media, and you're constantly given an image of what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to function within the society, then on a whole, as part of a group, you have zero responsibility of the outcome. And like I said, on a personal level, that doesn't excuse your behavior. But in totality and as a whole, the group is always more powerful than the individual. Outliers are of no consequence. People are judged based on the group. But here's where it gets insidious or genius, maybe one and the same. A lot of these children that you see in the doll experiments and some of the children that you don't see from these doll experiments with the same mindset or a similar mindset with valuing another group of people based on their skin color and devaluing themselves based on their own skin color.
I might not know that I'm white, but I know that I'm white. I can feel it through my veins. I feel it through my blood. I'll never be like any of those Negroes. They're just like really ghetto.
A lot of these kids are adults now, and they're working in corporate America. They're working in law enforcement. It goes all the way to the top because it's nothing for them to go out and get a Malika Andrews off the street or someone like her that has a history of dealing with self-hate and self-esteem issues from their childhood, in which Malika Andrews does. And I did a whole video and a whole breakdown on that if y'all want to go check that out. It goes deep into her childhood, and her parents and her mother even are writing a book about some of her identity issues. And so it's nothing for them to go out and get somebody like a Malika Andrews and make her their own personal attack dog. That's nothing. She's a dime a dozen. There's a lot of individuals on this platform and other platforms doing the same thing as Malika Andrews and making far less money. And so it's nothing to get a Malika Andrews and elevate her all the way to the top. And so when we see a Malika Andrews, it shouldn't frustrate us in the least because we should understand it. And once you understand something, it should no longer frustrate you or bewilder you. And so unless they tell Malika Andrews to jump, she's not going to jump. Unless they tell her to bite, she's not going to bite. And so Malika's not the only one. I know we pick on Malika, but Malika's not the only one, not by a long shot. There's a lot of them out there. And unless they get the green light, this is something that nobody's going to touch. Nobody's going to mess with this if they value working inside the house. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there on that note. But go ahead and comment below and let me know what y'all think on this one. And make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And as usual, peace and chaos.